Hey everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations. And we're just doing a bit of a chart of the day today, talking about the astrology of the time and maybe giving some perspective on what is actually transpiring for us as we head through the sun moving into a different sign, and Pluto going to go retrograde, all of the fun stuff that happens in the cosmological sky as we dance to the orchestra of this symphony. Okay, I don't know what that was about, but clearly my voice had to have that come out. So there it is. Okay, so where do I pick up? Where do I kind of like naturally find myself wanting to connect with this chart? Let's look at the moon currently at the moment. It's in Aquarius, and nothing really significant, to be honest. The moon's making a beautiful trine towards Jupiter. That's Jupiter in Libra in retrograde, and Moon in Aquarius just providing us with a little bit of detachment regarding the way in which we operate through relationships. So, for the 20th and 21st of April, we're really just going to experience kind of like a liberation from maybe, and this is probably a little bit subtle in that sense and not too big, but a little bit of liberation from maybe some of the expectations that you've been feeling over the last couple of days. A nice opportunity to kind of have a little bit of a different way of looking at reality, maybe objectifying it more with some friends, a good social energy, that trine. And it's also about an expressive one as well when you look at the phasal relationship between the two. So what do we have? We've got Mercury, at 29 degrees Aries. It's retrograde, so that's a big thing. It's right on top of the sun, so it's hugely combust at this point. Maybe that's why I had the kind of the communication this in the beginning of this video, the way that it was, just all over the place. It's approaching Uranus, so we are going to get some really powerful insights come through our way over the next couple of days. And that's going to be nice for us, but it's also going to promote us to feel like very agitated as well, that we need like liberation, or we need these shocking new experiences that allows us to see things from a different perspective. So that's going to be interesting. The sun has, as I said before in the beginning of the conversation, it's moved in the constellation Taurus. So the energy is going to definitely become more slower in our experience of things. This is a time on an energetic level where we begin to look at the internalization of our values. And of course, with Venus going direct, this will naturally be the step in which we begin to look at how these values have been, or these new values can be integrated into our daily existence. So this next month, up until May the 20th, is when the sun goes into Gemini, we're going to have an integration of these new values. So a lot of the work that we've been doing since, end of February, March, and up until now has been about that internalization. So this is a great opportunity to begin trying new things out and seeing new values become alive for us. And I feel like with Mercury conjunct Uranus, we're going to get that opportunity to really liberate ourselves and see the uniqueness come through these new experiences, these new opportunities, these, just like I said, objective perspective, right? Pluto's retrograde, right? Pluto's stationary today on the 20th, and it's going to go retrograde motion. It's retrograde for 6 months of the year. And for us, there's going to be a lot of, for anybody that's got Pluto retrograde in your chart, you'll notice how you actually begin to have your desires in some way, shape, or form become more manifest. And I've watched this actually, where the retrograde Plutos, so those of you that have got Pluto retrograde, when Pluto goes retrograde itself, those desires become even more available to you, like your capacity to allow your desires to manifest, work as if you actually have Pluto direct. So that's, I suppose, in some way, however that resonates with you, is going to make your life a little bit more interesting. And for those of you that have got Pluto direct, like myself, the retrograde season is the opposite. It's like having Pluto retrograde, right? And that's like going back on our desires, looking at things in which we, once desired and say, do we really want them? So an acceleration for us, really. And I think with Pluto also being in the constellation Capricorn, the nature of chaos that is existing within the world today probably is going to take, or is going to die down, I think. And I feel that this retrograde season is going to be very much about trying to understand where we hold power within ourselves, where we try to control things, where we try to feel that we have control, and how we recognize through the feeling that we have control over bigger things, things that are larger than us, larger than our sense of identity. That's what I'm referring to. We're going to rethink the way in which we orientate ourselves towards this. Venus and Chiron are still connected with each other in Pisces, and it feels like a Salvador Dali painting, where you're just like in this space of, whateverness that we're currently moving through. It's like, what's been really, really fascinating to me, though, and I have to share this, is the amount of information that I've been able to have access to with Chiron in Pisces, and of course as Venus hitting that Chiron, how we're able to heal a lot of the separation and separateness that we've been experiencing, for the last 2,000 years, particularly with the Virgo Pisces axis. And that's a conversation on its own. And I've got the PowerPoint presentation up. I've got specific graphics that I'm busy putting together as I kind of ground the material that I want to share with you. But at some point within the near future, I've got at least a 3-part series on how the soul exists, like what is soul, how we connect with the soul on a physical level, and how the relationship to understanding soul astrology, or understanding your astrology from a soul perspective, and healing the separateness that we have. So healing the emotional separateness, healing the emotional pains that we carry within ourselves, so that we can holistically, infuse the universe, or, the experience of this soul journey as something that's unified, right? In other words, how do I recognize that I am a co-creator of this universe? How do I recognize I'm somebody here that is experiencing these archetypes through me, and that there is no separation in the nature of the totality, like the wholeness, that even though I'm in my physical form, there isn't separation. And just to recognize that. So it's a really, really big deal to try to express, because I still haven't fully grounded it into myself yet. But I'm excited to share that. And to me, that has been my Chiron and my Venus connection, like really, really dealing with the relationship that we carry towards shame, the feeling of not being loved, the fear of wanting our desires and then having a cosmological overlay that suppresses them, connecting with more of the feelings in which we've had people condemn us for the mistakes that we've made, where we've never been able to feel that we could heal those mistakes within inside of ourselves, by recognizing that we are a human experience and that mistakes are intrinsic to our journey. That's what is here for us to discover. And that if we can forgive ourselves, Pisces, for that experience, then we can begin to allow ourselves to make mistakes as a way of learning, versus feeling shameful for the existence of our being, which is at the root of almost 80% of our disease anyway. So some really fascinating stuff coming out of there. And that, to me, that's what the Chiron's been for myself. And as it's connected with Saturn, as you can see there in the chart, Chiron and Venus are squaring Saturn in Sag, right at 27 degrees. And that huge connection there, that huge trine that's being made with Saturn, and now in this case the Sun in Taurus, and Mercury there in Aries, and of course the North Node in Virgo. We're here to basically liberate ourselves from all cosmological and sort of belief systems that have held us in this prism of outdated identities, basically, that no longer serve our fullest potential. And we're kind of liberating ourselves from those experiences. So yeah. All right, guys. Just a little bit of a chat with you today regarding, the chart, and not much to be said about that, but maybe more about the sharing of how we are healing ourselves through this Chiron Neptune experience, pardon me, Chiron Venus experience, and that there's a great potential for us to actually tap into a very self-accepting state over the next couple of days as a way of healing the separation that we have in our minds and in our emotional bodies through woundedness, basically. Okay. Have a fantastic couple of days, guys, and I'll speak to you super soon. Take care. Bye bye.